Welcome in the green room. I'm Kinga. And welcome, Michael Waltrip. You are my hero. You're a race car driver hero that started out as a little kid, wanted to go-kart, and you just followed your dreams.
Yeah.
So I'd say the show today is about following your dreams.
We started out as little kids, all of us.
I know, but you thought, I'm going to be a race car driver, and you made it happen.
But I want to hear her sing. When's that happen?
Okay, well, it's going to happen right now. Let's cut to summer. We're going to hear a song. Summer.
Right into it. All right. Well, I'm going to play an original song, if that's all right. I'm going to steal this microphone from my guitar here. So, yeah. There we go. Adjust a little bit. This is a song called This Mountain Feels Like Hollywood. And I wrote it a long time ago, and I haven't played it in a long time, so I'm excited. I really do love this song a lot. In the morning I'll be gone. Got my eyes fixed on the sunrise. Let it all go. And I sigh to breathe. This is not my company. It's not too late now to change. I think these places are the same, I hope. Let it all go. Let it all go. Let it all go. This mountain feels like Hollywood. I must have seen it on a silk screen, and diamonds running through the streets. This river feels like blood and gold. I must have held you in a sweet dream, and now I must take you with me. Take your time and carry on. Let the dark bleed into morning. Where I stood, and it's only in its presence, and it's really got it right. Let it all go. Let it all go. Let it all go. This mountain feels like Hollywood. I must have seen it on a silk screen, and diamonds running through the streets. This river feels like blood and gold. I must have held you in a sweet dream, and now I must take you with me. And now I must take you with me. And now I must take you with me. And now I must take you. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You're such a rock star. I'm
Thank
sorry.
you so
I just get chills every time you sing, and I just love you so much. And your voice, your lyrics, everything. And
Thank you.
Thank you for what is that called?
This mountain feels like Hollywood. In
Perfect
brackets.
name. What do you think, Michael? Michael Waltrip.
Mountain feels like Hollywood. I mean,
That's beautiful.
You make me feel like I can sing, and I know I can't, but
That's perfect. That's all I
the
want.
way you're over there doing that, it made me so happy.
Oh,
so,
thank you so much.
This mountain feels like
Hollywood. Okay,
Yeah.
so Summer, thank you so much for starting off the show. We'd like to hear a couple more songs.
Mm-hmm.
We are here sponsored by RVnGO. Welcome, Paul Kassir,
Hey everybody, it's gonna be
founder,
awesome.
CEO, and Chet is finally made it into the studio.
Oh,
So
yeah.
get over here, Chet.
Let's see.
And we're honored to have Michael Waltrip in the studio, two-time winner of Daytona 500, NASCAR career champion, with everything that goes along with that. And what I find so inspiring about your story, Michael, is that you start out as a small boy. You're begging your parents to buy you a go-kart. They're pushing back. Everyone's like, no, don't get into this. You can't do it. And you go on to become a NASCAR champion.
Yeah, when you're a kid and your parents have gone through, your bigger brother, your older brother, he had them buy him go-karts, and they said, we've done that once and it was a pain in the ass and I don't want to do it again. And so when I was a kid, they said, no, we're not going to do that. And I had to figure out a way around it. I had to figure out other people that I could get to help me. And I did. And it's really fun to see, to look back and see that. And I hope it's an inspiration to kids. Sometimes when roads close down or doors are shut, you have to figure out ways around it.
Was that frustrating, though, that they supported your brother's love for go-karting and not yours? I feel like that would be really frustrating.
That's a great question, Chet.
Yeah.
It was a little weird, but I understood it because they were getting older. Like I asked my mom one day, because I came along, I was the fifth of 5 children, and I came along a little bit late, and I said, Mom, was I an accident? And she said, yeah, the other 4 were too. So she didn't care about my, who I was or how I came to be, but they were done doing racing. They just wanted to live life. They just wanted to relax and be retired people. And so I just had to figure out a way around it. And damn, I'm going to tell you what, I lost a lot of races in NASCAR before I finally won one. And if it hadn't been for the fact that the persistence I had to have as a kid to make it, to be able to get to where I was going,
You had to really want it.
I would have given, I'm probably pretty sure I would have given up,
Yeah.
because I would have said, this is too hard. But from the first time I was a kid, I had to try hard. I had to overcome adversity, and it made me.
You had a relentless focus.
It made me resilient. It made me want to keep going.
Yeah, but belief in yourself makes you resilient.
Yeah, and I never doubted myself. Well, that's not true. There were times when I'm like, what the heck? Why is this so hard? But I always was able to overcome adversity, overcome situations that looked like were dams. They just became walls, and then they just became something I could step over.
Yeah, and when you believe in yourself, that's how you get through
I
those
agree.
problem times.
You definitely believe in yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see your confidence.
Yeah, and
You exude confidence. Come on.
what you want to do is make sure that you understand that you have what it takes. And I really believe, and I don't know what you guys think about this, but I really believe that adversity and challenges as a kid makes you stronger as an adult.
100%.
Would you
can't-
agree with that, Chet?
Yeah, that's how you learn how to work through things and get better and improve. Of
Do you feel
course,
like
yeah.
you had any adversity, Chet?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to make it right now in the music industry, and that's about as cutthroat as it gets. So right now I'm learning about, it's hard to get your music onto the right record labels, and sometimes you get turned down, 5-10 times, but you have to keep working through it and keep getting better. So
And you have to believe you're going to win. Words from Michael Waltrip earlier today. He thought every time he entered a race, I'm not only going to make it alive, but I'm going to win. I'm going to be first.
Yeah.
He said that every time.
But also, I love what I do. I'm sure you loved racing. So working through obstacles with music production, stuff like that, I enjoy it. I enjoy that challenge, as I'm sure you did with racing.
Well,
So-
what I think is interesting, when you get knocked down, just when you love something, you want to get back up stronger than you were when you got knocked down. So
Exactly.
that's what it's all about is resilience, making sure that people understand they might outrun you, but they're not going to outlast you.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't ever give up, it's really hard to beat you. And that's how I approach my race.
So never give up. And Chet, by the way, your song, we played it on the last show. everybody's been calling me.
I'm glad,
Everybody
I'm
wants.
glad.
So how do people find that song? Because I was not sure.
You can find it on SoundCloud or on my website, deepchetty.com. Either one. You can find it. SoundCloud's free. You know, incredible
hear it.
vocals and instrumentals.
I get excited.
Summer was awesome.
He's humble. He's humble. Here we go. Can we hear it in the room? All night long.
Everybody can go listen to the rest of it online. So
I just kept hearing Malbec.
So, Michael, your oldest brother, Daryl, was your inspiration in racing. Your other brother, Bobby, was probably the most helpful in your career.
Yeah, that's interesting. When I was a kid, I was a big fan of my brother Daryl. Like
NASCAR champion.
NASCAR champion.
So you watched him on TV because you were 16 years apart,
Yeah.
correct?
And all I wanted to do is be like my brother Daryl. But I had a brother Bobby. So there's 5 of us kids. Bobby was in the middle. I was a baby. Daryl was the big guy. And being able to admire Daryl from afar, which I did, but then have Bobby be there wanting to help me race hone my craft. He gave me a go-kart to race. And the first time I ever raced, this is crazy. It's like, a singer with his song or a dancer with his dance. Well, first time I ever raced, I won. I'm like, wow. I watched my brother my whole life, and I'm like, I know how to do this.
Oh,
and
it's so sweet.
I got in a little go-kart the first time, and I won. And I would have never gotten in the go-kart for the first time if it weren't for my brother Bobby.
Oh.
So everybody thinks about, Michael, the racer that won a couple races or whatever. Why are you pushing on me?
I want you to talk closer. Otherwise,
Okay.
Robin won't be able to hear you.
The mics are weird. You got to talk right.
You got to talk right into it, or you won't be able to hear you.
Okay, let me get a little bit more deep.
And then what about Dale Earnhardt? When did he become an influencer?
So when I was a kid, my brother Bobby was very important in my development as a racer. But as I grew older, it was really important for me to watch what my brother Daryl did on the NASCAR circuit. His wins, his championships all inspired me. And then I went on a bit of a losing streak.
You know, Lucasfilm.
How long was
Lucasfilm is recording this as the new Darth Vader voice.
How are you? This is fun. I don't know what y'all do here.
Okay.
I never know what
we have
interesting
fun.
people like you. But
Thank you. Woo, Robin. Woo,
how
we love
long
that
was
voice.
this lose streak that you're talking about?
I want to tell you something, Chet. Here's the deal on that.
You don't want to get into it?
No, I do.
Stop it.
PTSD.
Talk in a normal voice.
I want to expand upon that. So here's the deal. No one ever, listen to this. You want to hear something interesting?
We do. We
let's
want to
hear
hear
it.
everything interesting.
So you know how big NASCAR is.
Of course.
It's,
No
it's
one-
pretty big.
All right, be quiet. I have a story.
Oh, I love when you tell me to be quiet.
No one ever
Cut the
lost
video.
as many races as I did and then won one.
Wow.
So there was a couple of guys that lost more, but they never won. But no one ever lost as many as I did and then won one.
So by loss, you mean just not taking first?
Not
you
taking
weren't, you weren't in
first.
last place every
No,
single time.
and,
Yeah.
and you
If
know,
you're not first, you're last. Isn't
no,
that
you're not.
Talladega-
You can be
Talladega
second.
Nights?
You can be third. You can be hell. You can even be fifth.
But your favorite movie is Talladega Nights, and he
Yeah.
says if you're not first, you're last.
Yeah,
Or
but
as
he's-
Ricky Bobby was on to something there. But
But isn't winning the Daytona 500 just like winning the Super Bowl?
Yes, it is. It's the
And-
biggest race
and
ever.
It's like going winless one season or 5 in a row and then coming back the next season and winning the Super Bowl, just to put it in perspective. And you've won 2 Super Bowls. Drew Brees, great quarterback, just retired, 1 Super Bowl.
Yeah, I love what I did as a racer. I was persistent. I never gave up. I lost more races, like I was telling you earlier, than anyone ever has, and then I won, and then I won again and again.
You won twice. That's why your beer. Hold on, we have to give a little plug for your beer. It's called Two Time. Chet, did you get one yet?
not yet. It looks
pass
delicious.
one down for Chet.
I'll take one.
Two Time.
Sure.
Is he 21?
Oh, Two Time.
I'm 25.
Oh, wow.
Like
I passed
your
the
daughter's age.
goalpost.
You're in a good spot.
I'll take it. Yeah.
Kind of look like a young Johnny Depp.
Ooh, I'll
Thank
take
you.
that.
Ooh,
Thank you.
Yes.
And you want to know something interesting about Johnny Depp?
What about him?
We were born in the same hospital in the same year.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah. 1963.
Seriously?
I was born in April, and I think he was in June. And I want to tell you what, I don't really think that my brothers and sisters are a lot like me, and there weren't great records back then. I might be Johnny Depp.
Kentucky, correct?
You guys got swapped out.
We
in the
might have
hospital.
gotten swapped.
So hold on. So you know that my friend Cheryl and Ellis Cooper, they're in a band, or with she's
They're
in
in
it
a
too.
band?
They're both in a band with Johnny Depp called
Really?
Hollywood Vampires. So
Well,
and
ask him about Owensboro,
no,
Kentucky.
you're going to meet them. You're going to meet them all.
That's when we were both born there. That's pretty cool. And this whole show has a bit of a musical theme to it.
Oh,
and I thought
definitely.
I'd bring up the.
That's right.
To go with the beer, RVing, and NASCAR.
So Paul, I was at the races this weekend with actually Jerome Erb back there and his friends. They don't miss a NASCAR event. That's why I wanted you to meet him, and he's here in the studio. And we noticed that there's so many RVs at NASCAR, and you guys, we need to be out there. RVnGO, we need to get you out there.
Yes.
How many RVs are out there?
Oh, there's thousands.
Thousands and about 10 million in the U.S. And RVnGO, it's a place where you can rent RVs. And we just love people having that amazing RV experience, whether it's at a RV event like NASCAR or those things are coming back, music festivals, or just lifelong memories you're going to form with your family or kids or, your friends. So, we just love all the fun and excitement that all generates.
Well, I want to tell you, when I look out at the crowds at the NASCAR races, and I know the grandstands, the people that are allowed to go up there has been limited, but it just seems like the RV experience is better than ever. Like folks, especially at Phoenix, the track here, there's just so many people out there RVing, and I love the concept of what you're doing. You're allowing people to get a bus, to get a camper, and show up at the racetrack.
Right.
They rent it, and they're able to enjoy the experience. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, so, people want to go to a great experience like that. You don't have to buy a whole RV, just rent it. And people who already have an RV, maybe they can't go, rent it out. It pretty much pays for itself.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's like Airbnb for RVs.
So I have a question, because Michael Waltrip, you have an RV.
Yep.
Would you consider renting out your RV?
100%.
It's just sitting there.
And I would also consider renting out someone else's RV if it was closer to where I was going. And that's like, as a race car driver, our whole careers, our buses went everywhere we went. And now as a retired racer, I'm looking to be more, let's say, frugal. And when I get to Arizona, instead of driving my bus from North Carolina, I would be able to find someone that would say, okay, pick up the camper. And I don't give a crap if it's a big camper or a little camper, just somewhere to sleep. Pick up the camper, take it to the racetrack, and take it back to them. The insurance is provided if you have an incident. You're covered. I love the concept, and I'm gonna.
Perfect.
I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. RVnGO. I'm gonna try it out.
All right. Well,
Oh,
got
that's a
another.
big deal. Michael Waltrip right here is endorsing RVnGO. That's a huge deal.
So we
Paul,
do-
are you excited about that?
I'm totally excited.
Come on, let's
come
expand on
man.
this.
So,
As a host
so
or a
we
guest?
do. So a couple of things. Like we just try and make it as awesome and as easy as possible. So insurance is included. You don't have any headaches. It's as easy as booking a rental car. You just click book now. Go find an RV, and you can go get your RV experience. And you know what? We see a lot of people doing that. They'll fly in from Connecticut to Phoenix and then go to the Grand Canyon in RV instead of grinding across the states. So it's just you get those still lifetime experiences, and without having to grind for many miles.
Let me just tell you something that I love, and I have 2 grandchildren. They're 7 and 11, and
7-Eleven. Ooh, I like that.
and every now and then they'll say, "Papa, I don't think I ever saw that before." And when they say that, I think to myself, they really haven't. They've never said it. They've never seen that before. It's something new and different. And when I heard about your RVing thing,
RVnGO.
I thought, well, that's different. I haven't seen that before. And when you can come up with something in this world that people haven't seen before, that's special.
Yeah, thank you. And we hear that from people taking the RV trips. You can take a trip to a hotel. Was it a Hyatt? Was it a Holiday Inn? Whatever. Nobody forgets their RV trips with their family. Those are lifetime memories. People just have such a great time. And because we believe in bringing people together, we also don't charge any fees for doing it. So
That's right. Most of the other companies have a big fee, and you guys do not charge your RV owners,
Right.
correct?
So people so we want more people to go RVing. We get lower prices, and then we cover them with the insurance and make it all peace of mind. So we just love watching people have those great experiences, whether they're RVing at a NASCAR event, drinking
Or
beer,
at a
what.
concert with Summer. Here comes Summer.
I just
right.
popped open this 2-time Vámonos Mexican lager. It's really delicious. So
Vámonos.
Vámonos.
Let's go. I love it.
makes me want to go to the beach.
I don't know why. I don't know why I always get the checkered past beer.
Well, that's because
say
if
here?
you're like me, it's a 2-time checkered past. Did you win races, or is there stuff in your closet we don't want to know about?
I have no double meaning about 2-time.
So I just want to say that we have events for the RVnGO, all kinds of sporting events and NASCAR. But what about concerts? Let's all go see Summer. She's going to be burning it up somewhere soon, right? At a festival?
Yeah, can I rent an Airstream?
Sure can.
Can you? Do you guys have them?
Of course.
Oh, well, there you go.
Can even search by that.
Heck yeah. Might be hitting you up about that soon.
All right, Summer. What are you gonna play
RVnGO will
for
be
us?
hosting
Oh.
Summer as well for the next festival.
Oh, for sure.
Ray Paul?
All right. This is a song that my band is doing. I wrote this one. It is called Well Fine. Electric garden, heed my warning. Rain is coming. I sit in it. It's just dissolving all the country, breaking up buildings 'cause they're nice and crunchy. You can't break on yourself, even if you try. Well, fine. So how did you? You wanted eternal fire, so go and waste my time. I hardly knew you, and now I'm so stuck in the game. And so with acid rain. Could it be or not? Just sitting around, I'm falling to you. Now I don't quite feel the same. All those stupid kids, they don't know nothing. Now they must go away. Got a problem, garter, 10 silver rings. Do tell your mother, tell her what you did, you found so funny. You found her in the sky. Oh, you don't know why, but you can't let go. It's not a promise. You wanted it undefined, so go and waste your time. I give this to you. I give you heart, soul, and a name, and soul to soul with acid rain. Could it be your night? Just turn around, I'm falling to you. Now I don't quite feel the same. All those stupid kids, they don't know nothing. Now they must go away. Mama is coming. I have no money, I have no reference. I feel so funny. Some must admit all the things they are fighting. I like to keep on my fears by denying. In San Francisco, I'd be the queen. I'd walk around for hours serving everybody's dreams. I'd walk around and learn about it until I cannot see. There's not one person left if they might know it's all I need. Well, fine, I'm glad I knew you. You really done it this time. So much for you and I. Good God, it's true. You're so stuck in the game, and so to so with acid rain.
Wow.
Yeah.
Every song is just like, I can't even believe the next one's even, they're all so great. And then the next one's even better and better and better. You're just, there's nobody better than you.
Wow.
That's why you're our, Chet, would you say our resident
Yeah, our
singer?
favorite too.
Our favorite.
So,
Our favorite.
here
We're just
quite
going
a
to say it
bit.
out loud. You're our favorite. You're our favorite. That's why you're on monthly. So we love you.
That was incredible.
Thank you so
I mean,
much. I really appreciate
Do you understand? Like, this is incredible.
Yeah, no, it's at a higher level.
Just
Yeah.
speaking of, following your dreams and, just persevering through everything and all the challenges and like the music career and what you do, everything, like that's just what I love to do. And that's what I've been doing my whole life pretty much.
How
Your
long have you
talent is insane. So
Thank
please
you.
never stop.
I don't plan on it ever.
Sweet.
How long have you been fighting to this dream? Like, how long have you been trying your best to be who you are?
Pretty much since I realized that there was a thing you could do. Since I realized that, you can just sing and that can be your job and you can just be in front of people and dance around and people will like it. And like, ever since I realized that that was a thing that you could do, I was just like, that's it.
But then
That's what I'm doing.
you also didn't just rely on the God gift of singing. You learned how to play a guitar as
I
well.
did. I was
That's
14 when I
important,
got my
right?
first guitar, yes. And learning how to play guitar has definitely helped me a lot with songwriting and made me realize that, I don't want to sing other people's songs. I want to make my own. Female, like trying to, prove myself in the local community and, take myself out of that. I was in a cover band for a really long time. And like, I'm trying to establish myself as my own person.
I
now.
love you solo.
You
I'm
are
really
such a
trying to-
songwriter.
'Cause
Every single song you write has such a complexity to it, and the tempo always switches up, and the melodies are amazing.
And it's
And I
your
have the-
songwriting skills are amazing.
And I have
So
the freedom to do that now.
You should
which
not
is,
be playing covers.
No
Every-
covers for you. No
I just have
covers.
the freedom to actually delve into who I am.
Paul,
now.
you've seen her on many occasions, and how do you feel?
You paint with your music.
Thank you.
That's right.
I try
That's
to.
exactly right.
It's my
And
brush.
people don't know this about Summer that just listen to the show, that hear her on here often. She's an incredible dancer. No, her stage presence. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, if you
Dancer is
No.
a big word. Performer, yes.
Okay, like Queen. when you see the performance for Live Aid, I just watched it with Paul.
Yeah, it's
for
I
Queen.
call
I mean,
it,
he's all
it's-
over the stage, and that's you.
It's a performance.
It's a performance.
Now,
It's
if you put
entertainment.
choreography in front of me and asked me to do it, it might be a different story. But I can move to music, and that's what I like to do most. So once everything is cleared up, once everyone's vaccinated and we're out again, I promise we're bringing an amazing show to the local venues.
Well, in the green room, we just love you here, and thank you so much for being on
Well,
the show
and
with
let's
Michael
plug.
Waltrip.
I was
Do
going
you
to say,
have any
let's plug
questions?
the shows at the Deuce. I mean, they've been pretty
Right.
sold out, but
Actually, you mentioned Queen. I've
Yes.
got a thing. I've got
Oh,
a
okay.
thing.
Oh,
Big
here we go.
announcement. So
big announcement.
we are doing some Queen shows at the Deuce.
No, you're not.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Queen
We are-
is one of my favorite bands, all time, all time.
Now listen, here's the thing about the Deuce.
Let's go.
When you go there, it is not just a band and singers performing. We have fire, we have aerialists, we have all sorts of
People
crazy
hanging
stuff.
upside down.
Yeah, people hanging from the ceiling.
It's so much fun. It's like a circus act.
And now we're incorporating more dancers for like group acts
Chet,
and
have you
stuff
been
for
yet?
this show.
No, and okay, one night it was
Friday.
sold out. One night I was sick.
Friday
Wait,
night.
Is Friday night Queen night or
No,
your
Friday
originals?
night's
or
Friday night is
mixer?
rock and roll night.
Okay,
Okay,
so
I'll be there
night.
Friday.
So I'm
I
going
wanna-
Friday.
I like the
Paul,
mix.
Paul, do you want to go Friday?
Absolutely. But so is the aerialists and the fire eating, is that like audience participation?
No,
or-
no.
Wait, hold on. I need to buy the tickets before it sells
Yes.
out this time. 'Cause
Yes.
That's like
Buy your
that's
tickets
happened
tonight.
several times. This show is popping. It sells out. So
It
if you
does.
actually want to go, get on it.
Everybody in
Super
this room,
cool
let's all
venue.
go Friday night. Hey,
Camp
Friday
out
night.
with an
Let's
RV
go.
ahead of time to get tickets.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Summer. I think we're going to bring Doc back over here. I think we're going to close out to a song with you.
All right.
We all, you're our favorite.
Aw,
We love you.
thank
that's
you
all.
very
That's what to say.
much.
You're in the green room.
and we're saving the planet
one show at a time.
She's a professional. See?
I know. I had to do that before I left.
She knows everything. Oh my God, I love her so much.
I
All
can't
right,
wait to see her
Doc,
perform on Friday.
Get
That's
back
gonna
over
be
here
fun.
so we can quiz quiz everything out of this Waltrip over here. So Waltrip.
Well, I was going to ask him
Yeah, ask a
to
question.
go into detail about what made you want to start a brewery. And is it just you genuinely love beer?
Yeah.
Or?
So me and two of my buddies were drinking beer up in Sonoma actually a couple of years ago, and we said, let's make some beers because these beers aren't that good. And so we thought we would try to figure out a way to make a better beer, and we feel like we've come up with some really good recipes. A couple of lighter beers with the blonde and the Mexican lager, and then we went deep. We wanted people to see that we have complexity. There's more to us, and that's a two-time checkered past. And it's really making me happy to feel what you're doing over there on the mixing board with my voice right now. I feel very sophisticated. So thank you.
So people don't know that not only is he a two-time Daytona winner, he basically set his dream. He achieved his dream and won those races. And now he's with Fox Sports. What do you do for Fox Sports?
I've been on Fox for a long time, just talking about race cars. I used to drive race cars, and now I talk about race car drivers, which is fun. I'm friends with most of the guys that race the cars, so I feel like I have a good understanding about what they're faced with. And something fun this summer, there's a 6-week stretch that I'm going to race cars again.
Oh, that's exciting.
That's exciting. Where's that at?
It's called the SRX Racing Experience. Tony Stewart, NASCAR champion and Hall of Famer.
Of course, I know him.
He started a league, and we're going to have 10 retired, basically old guys, I guess, racing with a couple of young guys, 12 cars every Saturday night in June, July, and I'm going to be one of those guys.
Could that
That's
possibly
exciting.
be with Brassfield?
I haven't seen his name yet.
So Chet, Julie Brassfield, she's been on the show numerous times. Her husband is an ex, and they're friends. They
Oh, very
know
cool.
each other. Yeah, exactly. So I have a question for you.
Okay, let's hear it. I feel like I've really reached my
You wrote a book,
spot with
and your
this
book was made into a
microphone.
movie.
Yes, it was a microphone.
And why was that a changing moment for you?
I just wrote a book about the day that I won the Daytona 500, and my friend and mentor and car owner, my buddy Dale Earnhardt, died, and I had not talked much about that day in my world. And then we wrote the book, spent 3 or 4 months working through it, wrote the book, made the New York Times bestseller list. And a buddy of mine that works for Monster Energy, he's their marketing guy. He said, "Let's make that into a movie, a documentary." And so this past Saturday,
Blink of an eye.
yeah,
Blink
this
of an
past
eye.
Saturday night, the documentary played on FS1, And if you're watching now live, are y'all live?
We're all live. We're all
Say
live.
hi to
Woo!
everyone.
Michael Waltrip watches maybe blink of an eye.
Yeah, so this Saturday night and a couple more times on FS1, you can watch the movie. It's a documentary about that day, which was a crazy day. And something
You won and he died.
Yeah,
Your
and
best
it's
friend
something
died.
I live with every day. So, like, people said, did that help you? You know, because they visit it. A lot of people visit that day when Dale died, and I won that race. But I live it every day. So I'm just glad to be able to share our.
Could we have some details about that race? Like, how did that happen? Did he die near the end?
It was the last lap, and
Did you see his crash happen, and then you had to keep driving, or what happened? Give us some details.
On the last lap, on the last turn, like I was winning, and Dale Jr. was right behind me, and I knew when I came off that last turn, they weren't going to beat me. There was no runs. There was no way anyone was going to pass me. And as I looked in the mirror, as you do as a racer, you know, I did not see what happened. So I took the checkered flag and I won the Daytona 500, my first win in many, many tries.
After how many years did you win that
Four,
race?
6, 7. But who's counting?
For 15 years, 462 tries.
Wow.
And I just thought it was a perfect day. And then I went to victory lane and later learned, you know.
So you didn't know he died when you won?
No.
Oh, that's really sad.
It
But you
was-
knew he crashed.
I knew he was in a wreck, but it was a crazy day. And so this is the thing that happens. This past year, it was 20th year, and people are like, "Oh wow, it's probably hard on you the 20th year." But what they don't understand is every day I live with it. Like people visit it, but it's.
But it wasn't your fault that he died.
Yeah, not at all.
Doesn't matter.
I mean, you had nothing.
It still plays with your conscience. I'm
Like
sure.
all I can think about is I won this big race and my friend died.
I got to say, that is one of the best documentaries I've watched in a long time.
Well,
Linked
So
to
people-
Paul
the-
watched it. Yay, Paul.
Yeah.
People like in this world of the internet. Have you heard of the internet and how?
No,
weird,
we've never heard of it.
How
Michael,
weird
We've never
people-
heard of it.
I don't think anybody listening to this podcast has ever heard of the internet.
Yeah, we have
It's
a
brand new to
strictly
us.
Amish following. Yeah.
So in this world of the internet, like I'm not kidding you. Saturday night, that what am I doing?
Dr. Rez is taking a picture of us.
But he's right in the middle of saying something. So priorities. Come on.
Okay, sorry.
And I'm easily distracted. I'll tell you that. But I want
Squirrel.
to. My point
Well,
was there's not of all the different internets. I'm on Insta, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. 100% approval rating for the documentary. Now, how many times can you say that in this world? You know, most of the time, you know, people have something smart ass and negative to say, but it's been really well received, and I'm really thankful for that.
I
And
thought it was really sincere. It got to why you were doing all that and why you succeeded in the end. And it really fascinating story, bringing in Dale Earnhardt Jr., Richard Petty, just an amazing story.
Thank you.
You've testified to how accurate it is. You think that is exactly what happened. The significant historians will agree that's exactly what happened. So for
Yeah.
those of us outsiders wanting to know exactly what it is like, that is it, right?
And every key player on that day and what happened, they're involved in it. There's no one that knows anything more about what happened than the people that are in the documentary. So it was a little bit therapeutic for me, but like I said, you know, every day I have to deal with it and live with it, and people visit it and watch it and say how special it was for them to see and how much it meant to them. And then I just say, you know, yeah, every day, that's my life.
Bristol, Tennessee, 1990. You know what it's like to crash. I've been in car crashes. I wasn't going more than 80 miles an hour. You know what it's like to crash at 200 miles an hour. And a crash that was considered one of the top 5 in Daytona history is one you walked away from.
The thing in Bristol was crazy because I had this crazy wreck. And usually when you have a wreck, you hit your head. And when you hit your head, you're like, what the hell? I don't know what happened.
Where am I?
Yeah, I knocked out. I'm like, I'm fine. Why? Why do you ask? But that day I had this crazy crash and I didn't hit my head. I just sort of got banged around. And I came to a stop and I'm like, I'm fine. But my car was not fine and it ran into the end of a concrete wall. It got it was all blowed up, and I was sitting in my seat in my car, but my feet weren't on the floorboard of the car. They were on the racetrack. And instead of me thinking that was a weird sign, I'm like, no, I'm fine, because I was obviously shaken up. But survived one of the worst wrecks ever, 1990 at Bristol, Tennessee, and was able to race again the next day.
So, Michael, we only have a
it's
couple minutes left.
I think it's the miracle at Bristol.
We only have
Yeah.
a couple minutes left, and I did hear from you earlier, and I read about how a driver upset you, and so you from your car punched him out, and
Well,
you were
I mean,
fine. And I think that's cool. Like,
you're gonna have
what,
that.
Why did he upset you?
Well, because he cut me off and he took my space. And in the heat of competition, you're going to punch someone. Now, in life,
Paul likes to punch people too, so you guys have a lot in common.
Polly,
Remember
in
that night,
life,
Jennifer?
Some hotheads in here tonight. Hey?
so I want to just say before
I thought we signed a
before we
non-disclosure agreement.
finish this podcast or whatever the hell we're doing, I just want to tell y'all it's not okay to punch people.
I like that. Okay.
Unless they
That-
cut you off.
That guy needed punching though.
He cut you off. Yeah, I mean, you cut somebody off. That's kind of asking for it.
That was not my fault.
The guy I
And you're
punched
the
needed
nicest
punching
guy.
too.
Michael Waltrip, you are so nice. You're so humble. And this is the beginning of the series of you being on our show. So we want to let everybody know, where can they find your beer?
At
Two-time.
Total Wine. Every Total Wine in Phoenix. Go there. And then we're going to expand to Bristol, Virginia. We're coming to you, Virginia. And a lot of places. So
It's delicious.
So-
we can
so-
all
no,
vouch for it.
I
in
love
agreement.
beer.
How about a
This is the
cheers?
best beer.
I
Cheers.
drank all of mine.
Cheers
I
to
need
you.
another one for Cheers Day. Yeah,
Cheers to
but-
two-time. Cheers, woo. So
do
thank
it
you
for
so
you.
much. Saving the planet, one show at a time.
And I want to say I have no idea what I've just done, but I've enjoyed it.
Wait, we still have 10 minutes left. It's not over.
Oh.
Yeah, we're chilling.
Do we have 10 minutes?
Why are you acting like the show's over? But yeah,
Good. Go ahead.
All right, I want to say I have no idea what I'm doing, but I know I have 10 minutes left.
So,
But the person in charge is having watch reading
So,
issues.
Hey, can we get another song off that lady?
we definitely will. We'll finish with a song from Summer for sure.
That is some good singing right there.
Right?
Let's do that.
So incredible.
as a doctor, as a cardiologist, my partner Reza's here. We're both two cardiologists in the house. I want to hear about the level of fitness it takes to be in your role.
I love that you asked me that because
500 miles at 200 miles
Right.
an hour. What does it take to do that?
And he ran a marathon. Hello. Woohoo. Marathon.
Here's the deal about that. Like the drivers now are really into physical fitness. You know, whether it's brain or body or cardio. But when I was a racer, there wasn't a whole lot. Like most of the racers were just country boys that were tough and strong. And so when I was a racer, I said, I'm going to start running. And I ran 4 marathons. And the reason why I ran those marathons was because I wanted to make sure the competition knew they might outrun me, but they would never outlast me. I wanted to be perfectly physically fit to get in that car and run for 4 hours. Because listen to this, Doc, 4 hours on a hot Sunday afternoon in the South that's a really physical fitness challenge. And so I always wanted to make sure I was ready for that challenge. And I think it meant a lot to me. It gave me a mental advantage, not because I was physically better in shape, because I mentally thought I'm tougher than them. I will definitely not get tired. I will race to the checkered. And so nowadays, that was an advantage for me back in the 80s and 90s. Nowadays, all those guys have that same approach. You know, they work out hard. They work out not only physically, but the data, all the things they dive through to see how they can be a better race car driver. It's
amazing.
It is amazing because people think you're just driving a car in a circle. But if you saw what these guys are doing to prepare mentally for their physical challenge, it's really impressive.
And the concentration, the jousting. You guys are banging into each other. People are wiping out 200 miles an hour. I mean, how do you maintain that focus? And for you, does it feel like 4 hours? Does it feel like 15 minutes?
Well, a lot of people don't understand is you're driving this car, you know, and you're going in circles and you see it from above, but you're constantly evaluating and determining what all is going on in your car, in your world. how can you tell the pit crew to make that car better? So if you're not physically fit, if you're not mentally focused, you're not gonna be able to give that information, that data to the team in order to make your car better. So there's
So it's
probably,
a dynamic process, the race.
There's probably just maybe a couple, the 10% difference between first and 20th. And you have to make sure you're that guy that can deliver the information to your team. And I keep hitting you, and I don't know you yet. But
Well, welcome, Jerome. He's a big NASCAR fan and so excited to be here with Michael Waltrip. And he has some questions after you're done with what you're talking about. Yes.
but it's what you're doing. You're living it. You're driving the car, but yet you're feeling it and you're communicating it to your team.
How many tire changes?
There's usually about 6 pit stops during the course of a NASCAR race.
Amazing.
And each one of those pit stops, there's these extreme athletes that jump over the wall, change 4 tires in about 12 to 14 seconds. And then the other thing is
My tires last a year, and you
Yeah.
go through 6 in a race.
they usually last about 50 miles. So
Hey, Jerome,
One
ask a
question I
couple
have
questions.
is, I was going to ask which was mentally tougher between the marathon and like a really hot race. Which one was harder to get through mentally?
for me, I was trained to be a race car driver, and then I took up this marathon thing because I wanted to be a better race car driver. So running the marathon, I didn't feel like there were people trying to beat me. I'm just like trying to get to the finish line. So when I got in my race car, I'm like, screw these guys, I want to win.
Or trying to kill you.
And I knew I wasn't going to win the marathon, but I knew I wanted to be the best I could be. So I'll tell you a funny story about my first marathon. Dale Earnhardt called my ex-wife. I say ex-wife because she was my wife then, but if I said my wife now, it'd be weird because I don't have a wife. But he called her and said, Michael's only halfway through and some of them guys are already done. And she said, well, I know, but he didn't plan to win. He said, well, why did you race? I was just doing it to be a better race car driver. I wanted to be in great shape.
So at the end of the day, you think that the marathon was more difficult than mentally because you're out of your comfort zone?
No, I think winning a race was way more difficult.
Okay.
But when I ran my final marathon, I made it in less than 4 hours. I made it in 3 hours and 54 minutes.
That's a good time, yeah.
I mean, I think that's an athletic accomplishment.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was really proud of that, but none of it compared to racing a car. There's 40 guys out there that are just hell bent on winning, and I wanted to be one of those 40 guys. And it was always really difficult, and I was fortunate enough to win a few times, but
Oh, yeah.
it was way harder than a marathon. A marathon is like somebody that's just persistent. They're like,
Well, yeah, I feel
I'm
like
going to
a lot
get to the finish.
I feel like a lot of people don't really respect the amount of focus that it takes to drive in one of those races for 4 hours, 5 hours. Yeah.
A marathon is just you get to the finish, you win. But in a NASCAR race, you got to win to win.
For 4 hours.
And you're risking your
straight.
life.
Wait.
Hello, you can die in a crash.
Way weirder.
So introduce yourself, Jerome.
So I'm Jerome Erb, and I'm a big NASCAR fan. And so
and an investor with RVnGO.
RVnGO, new investor. And I love your 2-time beer, Michael. It's
Well, thank you. Which one did you have?
I had a couple of different ones over there. So they're all the two I had were good, but I was at the very first race that was televised, flag to flag, and it was the 1979
Daytona 500.
Richard Petty won it.
We were there together.
Okay. So I was just going to say, I was around 18. That put you about 17, 16.
We're the same.
So where were you on that day?
So this is funny because I was a sophomore in high school, and that day was rainy, as you remember. It started under rain, cloudy skies.
Yep.
And I was a poor kid. I didn't have any money. And somehow one of the sponsors said they had 4 tickets to the grandstands, and they said, "You want them?" And so I went outside the racetrack on the front straightaway, I got 4. I was selling 4 tickets because, like, if I got $40, like, that's a shitload of money for me.
Right.
And so I sold these 4.
At what age was this?
I was 17 probably, and I sold those 4 tickets, and then my mom and dad took the money away from me because they saw me get it. They said we have to have that for gas money, which I got it. Like I got there, so that was cool. But then I watched that whole race in the infield, and so it's cool you were there. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a great race, and
So, Jerome, you get one more last question before we have to end this show.
how in the heck did you fit in a go-kart as big as you are?
I look like a gigantor. I was all knees and elbows, and but it was weird because as a kid, even though I was bigger and looked weirder than the other kids, I was able to win. So that's why I became a race car. That's why I won the Daytona 500, because when I got in those little go-karts as a 12-year-old, I was better than the rest, and I had the ability to do something that I wanted to do, I loved doing, and it all worked out. But I'm glad, Jerome, that you brought up the 2000 or the 1979 Daytona.
So I'm going to end this with Jerome told me that race car drivers just go to the bathroom as they're driving in their pants.
I said that?
Yes, you did at the race this weekend.
So when I was
Is that true?
when I was a highly focused, tuned race car driver, I never thought about peeing in my pants. But at the end of my career, I ran a few races, like 3 or 4 a year. And I want to tell you, one time, not only did I not make it to the checkered flag before I peed my pants, I didn't even make it to the green.
But he told me that the reason why they do that.
I hear NASCAR
like-
developed Velcro and NASA developed Velcro and NASCAR developed Depends.
Well, no. So Jerome said that the reason why they do the champagne and they spray it all over you is because your pants are wet,
Right.
and they're trying to hide that.
Yeah.
Is that true?
I've peed in my pants before.
So Jerome was right. Oh my
I'll
gosh.
admit this on this show.
So Jerome, and this is a great meeting for you guys.
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, growing up since I was 17, watching racing and NASCAR, and believe me, I enjoyed every minute of it. And Michael was big part of it.
Yeah, I'm really thankful for the
NASCAR
for
legend.
folks that loved it all these years, and I'm really thankful to be able to celebrate it now.
Michael, Jerome goes with his best friends to every race, and they congregate and they have fun. And now I see why Christina is with Chet, because Jerome's a lot like you.
That's kind of a
He's
weird
very
thing to say,
gregarious.
but
Well, he has a lot of friends. He's very gregarious, and he likes to have fun.
I agree. He's very cool. But everybody should go drink a 2-time beer while they watch Blink of an Eye on FS Sports this weekend.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you.
And
Chet.
do it from a
course.
RV.
Let me try to put
Get an RV with Wi-Fi.
Is there any way I could put a button on this show, like a pin? We're gonna get an RV. We're gonna have a beer. We're gonna watch a movie.
It's a
Well,
plan.
well, we'll talk about
All
it
right,
next
we're out
month.
of time here. Great
Michael Waltrip
show.
will be on next month.
Saving the
and
planet.
RVnGO. Woo! One show at a time.
Thank you for listening to In the Green Room. Join us here live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. or anytime on demand 24/7 on StarWorldWideNetworks.com.